If this video reaches anyone, hello, I've seen people complain about this level, but personally I really don't think it's that bad. So I decided I would talk about some of the things that I learned that I do to make it as consistent as possible. Now, there's nothing really to learn about this, you just go up here. Now, jumps that require you going to the side and then back where you were are quite tricky in the sense that you can always just, hit your head like that and fall down. But generally, what I've learned is that, I think if you try to do it more carefully, you're just more likely to fall down. If you try to do it like this, then you're just gonna fall down. It's honestly better to just run and make the jump like that, and then you would be surprised at how late you have to start going back, because if you start going back too soon, you will just hit your head. Okay, now here as you can see, there's a jump over here. There's a platform that you can land on, so you just land on that. And then here you do a full jump, and then you buffer another full jump off of that. So you do that and then that. Now it's probably better to jump on this orb and make sure you're as high up as possible, and then you just land on that, make a full jump onto that. This is pretty self-explanatory. Here's another jump that you can just buffer. So you land on that, buffer, and you will end up over here. Here's another one of these jumps where you have to go to this side and then back. These get really consistent after a while. Now this red orb, you can either hit it from here or from here, it really doesn't matter. You can do whichever one feels safer to you. Then you can just keep jumping over here, nothing's gonna happen, and when you're confident you can go right and land on this. You might also happen to land on this slope, so it's better to just be prepared for that, and if you see that you're about to land on this, just make another jump, but don't overshoot it because you might land on this and then fall down. Anyway, here you make a small jump like that. Try not to hit this wall. The way I do this part, one thing you can do, which is what I do when I try to speedrun this, is you do it like that, but that's not very consistent and it's kind of tricky. So instead, the most consistent way I found to do this is to jump over here. This jump you have to make as late as possible. So you go to the right and then you jump on the platform on the left, from which you make one jump upwards. Then you will land back on the platform like that, and then you will jump to the one on the right, and you will make another jump up from that, and then back on this one, and then from there you'll make it into this gap over here. So like this. You can just keep repeating this. You can just do this over and over until you land in this gap over here. Now you can technically just try to force this. That's also possible, but chances are that you'll fail to do it and then you'll slide off. So personally I find it safer to do it like this, but you can do whichever. Now this jump is not that bad. You just, again, this is another one of these where you have to confidently just go to this side like this. Though honestly this one is not that bad because there's like a gap above you. So you can just do that and you'll be up here. Now you jump up here. But if you sprint and you land on this and you keep sprinting, then you will miss this platform like that and fall down. So it's better to go up here and stop. And then when you're here, you have to make the next two jumps in succession basically. So you carefully start sliding on this and make this jump and then make this jump. So you just go over here, slide to the edge like that, and then make a full jump to here. You jump off the edge of this block and you land on this. I recommend doing a full jump from here, but you don't keep holding right. Eventually you'll be like over here and you have to stop holding right like that. And then from this you have to buffer another full jump. If you don't buffer it, you will probably mess up. So you just have to do them in succession like that. So now you're over here. As you can see, you don't slide off of this one, and there's another red orb over here which you can again just do like this, and then you hold left when you feel confident enough. By the way, if you don't really know what's below you and you start falling, pausing is definitely a good thing to do, because then you'll know roughly where you want to land. Now here the game introduces wall jumps. Wall jumps are kind of tricky because they're not very consistent, but they're not as bad as they seem. They're very control based. So for example, if I jump up on it and then I accidentally start holding left like that, which is, it sounds like I'm making this up, but this is genuinely something that personally I accidentally do a lot. So you just have to kind of prepare in your mind to go left and right and land on that. And again, just prepare left, right, and it's good to try to buffer a small click from this platform. So again, left, right, buffer, and you will end up over here. The good thing about this part is that you should never fall back down to here. If you keep holding right when you start falling anywhere from above here, you can keep holding right and you will always be able to buffer a jump from this. Now this part is a bit tricky. Not these jumps, they're just... And if you fall down, there's ground here. You can just keep trying over and over. Here there's a wall jump from the right, then from the left, and then another one from the right. Again, I recommend just kind of mentally preparing for that. So you go left, right, left. You land on this, so try not to overshoot it like that. Now from here, the way I like to jump up these slopes is I land on this one from the wall jump, and from that, if you keep holding right and buffering a full jump, you should always be able to make one if you're going from down below over here. Now if you start sliding from this platform and you try to wall jump back, you will there's chances are you will not be able to buffer a jump for whatever reason, and you will just slide down anyway, which kind of sucks. But as you can see, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So keep running until you hit the wall like that, and then bounce off of that. Try not to start going back too soon, because that's definitely something that can happen, and these wall jumps don't have a very tolerant hitbox. So make that, and then try to buffer a jump so that you land on top of this like that. This is the way I found it most consistent, because if you manage to stand over here, then you're pretty much set. Then you can just make a full jump on that, and then another one on top of this box. Then you go over here, and I've seen that some people do this part like that. That's not the way I do it personally, but I can see how it can feel more comfortable, because you can just line yourself up with this wall and then jump from that. But the way I've always done it is I just bump my head like that. Do whichever one feels safer, but if you do it the way I do it, make sure you're jumping as light as possible, because you can accidentally do that and fall. Here's another one of these where you have to make sure that you keep holding the right direction, and it's kind of quick, left, right, left, like that. Chances are that you will not make it on top of that platform, and you will end up like that, in which case it's probably good to have another jump prepared. So like that, and then, you know, nothing's gonna happen if you make a jump off of here, because there's a roof here, and this fall is quite a few blocks ahead. And if you don't make it, you will be here, and you will be able to try this over and over until you make it. So you have to be ready for the next two jumps in a row. So you have to jump from here and then another one from here, because you will not be able to stay on this roof. You will slide down. Be careful, because the blocks in this part are slidey. So as you can see, if I don't start going back to stop myself, I just slide off. So be ready for that, and just stop yourself like that. Here you can make what's pretty much a full jump on top of this, but don't overshoot it, because you can fall down over here. Now here there's a wall jump on this left wall, so you can just do that and that. Here's another part that you just have to prepare for. So right, left, right, and you will land on this. You don't really have to keep holding right from that last one. So you hold, short, hold. If you get what I'm saying. If you keep holding, you will jump over it, so you have to make sure you land on this one. Then you go up here. Now this mechanic is kind of tricky, but it's not that bad once you get it down. I guess you can do it with a full jump as well. It's kind of weird, because you don't have to do a full jump. As you can see, I just did a shorter one, and I landed on this platform anyway. So I just jump and then stop when you're roughly around here, and you will land on this platform. Now there's a wall jump on the right wall over here, like that. But be ready, because once you do that, you have to keep holding left. So you hit this wall and then keep going. And then when you're above this platform, you stop yourself and land on it. This jump, what I do here is I run from the very edge, and then you jump as late as possible. If you don't jump late enough, you will fall down, and you will probably end up on this roof, in which case it's probably best to just do that. But yeah, just jump like that, last second, and then stop yourself on this platform. Try not to fall off on the left. This part is pretty self-explanatory, just go up here. Now there's gonna be another wall jump over here. This part is a bit tricky because you have to land specifically on this platform, but it's really not that bad when you know where it is. So just jump up, go over here, and from that you bounce and keep going right until you get roughly around here, I would say, and then you stop yourself. Keep in mind that these blocks are no longer slippery, it was just those few next to the house. Now here I like to just kind of awkwardly keep running on this edge until I fall down, and then when I do fall down, I immediately start hugging the wall. Like that, because if you don't hug the wall and you accidentally do something like this, you can easily miss the wall jump. But yeah, make sure you align yourself with the wall and then hit the wall jump. And this is another part where you have to just kind of prepare to do the inputs. So you immediately start holding left, and then you try to jump from this wall jump as soon as possible. Try to buffer it. Try to focus on what your left hand is doing. Make sure that you're jumping as far as you can and hit the wall. Now what you're supposed to do here is go over here and then land on this, etc. But another thing that you can do, you can just go on top of this and then like this. It's a pretty nice skip. If you don't feel confident doing this, which I understand because it's a slope jump, though it's really not that bad, but you can just go over here. You can go as far as you want to, because there's no way to fall off over here. If you keep going too far, nothing can happen to you. And then you just go over here, and then you make another jump. But as you can see, you can kind of overshoot it. So honestly, personally, I find this slightly less consistent. Though I would do it before I was aware of the skip, is I would literally just overshoot it and then jump off of that. So at that point, it's probably just simpler to do this, but feel free to do whichever. Now here you just keep holding left, right, left, but the problem is you can either bump into this platform over here, in which case you keep holding in order to land on this one, or you can kinda make it between the two, in which case you have to stop holding and stop yourself. Otherwise you just kinda fly in between these and fall off like that. Most of the time, personally, I happen to bump into the platform at the top, though that might not be the case for you. As you can see, what just happened there is that I didn't bump into the platform and I accidentally overshot it and fell off. I recommend giving this level a practice run beforehand, so that you know whichever happens to you more often. You can also try to pause here and then save yourself depending on whichever situation you're in, but that is also kind of tricky. And I have to say that in my experience it hasn't really paid off. Then you go up here and then up here. Here you can make a full jump. That platform looks like it's really far away, but the gravity is decreased when you go over here. So you can just do a full jump. Keep holding left, you will bump into that block over here. So once again I just hit that and then I land over here. There's a wall on the left, so you can just keep holding left and do a full jump, and you will definitely land on this. Then you can just jump up on that. This part is easy. When you're over here, there's gonna be a wall jump on the right, so just jump up. Then when you see this block, you can bounce and go left and land on this. Keep in mind that the gravity is decreased. Here you can just go up here and then keep hitting this wall jump until you make it into that gap. If you accidentally fall out, you can enter this gap again like I just did. But yeah, usually you jump once and then you're too low, and then when you hit it a second time, you will make it into the gap. Like that. Here you run down on this, you don't have to jump and you'll be fine. Now there's gonna be a tiny block on the right of this tower over here. If you want, I guess you can do this and see for yourself roughly where it is. You will have to stop yourself, as you can see, but the gravity is low and you fall kind of slowly, so you should be able to do this. Then you make it inside of this. Then you will jump from here, you will bump into this wall, then you keep holding and land inside. From this point, you go up here, and again, like I've said, don't start going back too soon, because if you do that, chances are you might mess up. So just jump late off of the edge of this platform. As you can see, I'm like over here, but it's fine because you fall slowly and you can land on top of this. You don't really have to worry about going too far to the left. then you enter this gap. Now here, try to make a small jump like that, and you should end up inside of this. You might accidentally either do that or do that. Either way, this is another place where you can just hug the wall and you will probably end up in some gap and you'll be fine and you won't really fall down that far. Try not to run too far, because you might be surprised at how easy it is to enter that gap. So you can just do that and then stop over here. Then you go on this little edge over here, if you can see it. You jump up and you'll be able to enter this one. Now I'm not sure how you're supposed to do this part, but you can literally just do that and you'll end up here, and you can completely skip these fans. And then you can go up here and the level is done.